Welcome to this deep dive. Today's mission for you is unpacking the Aries archetype, using this really fascinating stack of astronomical, mythological, and psychological sources.
Yeah, it's a huge topic.
It is. And to start, I want you to think about like a biological spark plug.
Right.
It's that raw, initiating fire required to violently crack through the frozen dormancy of winter.
The absolute genesis, the push that says, life is starting right now.
Exactly. But here is where it gets really interesting for you. If we look at the literal starting point of spring in the sky at the vernal equinox, the cosmic engine block doesn't match the spark plug anymore.
Right, because of the wobble.
Yeah. The Earth wobbles on its axis, meaning the physical start of spring actually drifted into the constellation of Pisces a long time ago. So why do we still stubbornly call it the first point of Aries?
Well, because the system we use, tropical astrology, it doesn't actually care about the physical stars in the background. I mean, it relies entirely on the seasons. Yeah, it marks the exact moment the sun's apparent path, the ecliptic, crosses the celestial equator, which is just Earth's equator projected out into space.
So that intersection is the trigger point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, if you look for the physical constellation of Aries, it's incredibly faint, like barely there.
Which feels totally ironic for a sign famous for being, loud and aggressive.
It does. But Greek mythology gives this really vivid explanation for that faintness. The constellation represents Chrysomalos, the immortal winged ram with the golden fleece.
Right, the famous fleece.
Yeah. And to save two children from a false oracle, the ram sacrificed itself. So when it ascended to the stars, it left its radiant golden fleece behind on Earth. Basically, the ram in the sky is stripped bare.
So it's basically a naked, vulnerable ram.
Right.
So it's like wearing a spiked leather jacket to hide the fact that you're secretly shivering.
That's exactly it. That myth perfectly sets up the core psychological paradox of the archetype.
Yeah.
A tough exterior masking intense vulnerability.
Mm.
Developmentally, this represents the stage of ego emergence. It's this profound realization of I exist and I will act.
Because it's the first sign.
Right. And because that raw, immediate self-assertion is so new, the ego is highly sensitive to any feeling of inadequacy or like a loss of control over its destiny.
Meaning they overcompensate.
Big time. They project this preemptive, competitive dominance. Like bureaucratic stagnation or delays are agonizing for them because waiting feels like a literal loss of agency.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and constantly maintaining this psychological armor and mentally rehearsing battles, it takes a toll. It physically manifests as high-energy burnout, rapid systemic inflammation, and even intense headaches.
Makes sense that the tension gets localized in the head, just like a ram. But wait, I'm struggling with this generalization.
Okay, how so?
Well, I know an Aries who is a soft-spoken accountant and avoids conflict at all costs. That completely contradicts this fiery ram idea. What gives?
Well, we had to look at the luminary modifiers. Instead of just looking at where the sun was, you look at where the moon was.
Okay, so the moon changes it.
Yeah. An Aries sun represents the conscious core identity, which can actually be surprisingly stoic and solitary, calculating massive decisions in private.
Interesting.
But if someone has an Aries moon, that rules the subconscious. They are the highly reactive ones, expressing feelings with immediate intensity. They're fiercely protective.
Right. And it also changes based on exactly when during the month you were born, right? Like the sources break this down into decans.
Yeah, decans. So every zodiac sign occupies a 30-degree slice of the sky. Decans just chop that slice into 3 10-degree segments.
Okay.
The first 10 degrees get pure Aries energy ruled by Mars. But the later segments borrow flavor from the other fire signs.
Like the contrast between Harry Houdini and Leonardo da Vinci?
Yes, perfect example.
Because Houdini was born in the first decan. Pure Mars energy. He made a career out of physical obstacle-breaking escapes.
Right, while Da Vinci was born in the third decan. That segment borrows energy from Jupiter, the planet of expansion and higher learning.
So the underlying Martian drive is still there.
It's still there, but Jupiter points it toward philosophy and art. It's the same fire, just applied to an insatiable curiosity rather than, physical chains.
So what does this actually mean for you? If you have an Aries in your life, or if you're trying to harness some of that ego emergence energy yourself, look past the aggressive exterior.
Yeah, you have to understand that the loud dominance is often just armor. It's protecting a newly emerging, highly vulnerable spark of life. It's literally the courage to exist.
And recognizing that completely changes how you interact with them. You stop fighting the armor and start addressing the vulnerability underneath.
Exactly.
Well, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. We talked about how the physical vernal equinox continues its 2,160-year drift, and it's projected to enter Aquarius around the year 2600. So when that happens, will humanity's innate biological urge for springtime renewal eventually detach from this fiery Martian archetype altogether? I mean, what happens to our biological spark plug when the cosmic calendar fundamentally shifts?